All right, everyone. Here we go. Another Steve's mailbag. Got a lot of questions. Got a lot of questions about tarot. You folks, I'm going to give you a little tarot 101. I'm going to give you some tarot life hacks for those of you that read tarot readings. First, I'm going to talk about energy because that's what tarot pulls from. Tarot is not astrology. Astrology isn't tarot, though tarot does pull from some of the astrology because the astrology, of course, the movement of the planets pulls on the energies that the tarot reads from. But astrology, as I've said before in another mailbag, is about how those planetary movements pull on that energy and then in turn how that energy affects us in the 3D. Tarot pulls from the 5D. It does tell us how things affect us in the 3D or may affect us, but tarot is very powerful. It pulls from what's called dark energy in the universe. Dark energy is what scientists call it right now. It's called the river, it's called the universe, makes about 70% of our universe. And it ties everything together in a big web. Scientists just discovering that what we've already known for thousands of years, that we're all connected. All right? But energy is cyclical. And you hear me say that all the time. That's why timeless readings work. Quite frankly, any reading works. Even if you're watching somebody's reading from April of 2018 right now, and you're watching it now in 2021, and that title pulled you in, you saw it, it went by your screen, and you saw it. You can pull that reading. All readings are timeless because energies are cyclical. What do I mean by that? Well, everything, the whole universe is cyclical. The sun, the earth moves around the sun moves around the center of the universe on a 26,000 year cycle. The earth moves around the sun on a 1 year cycle. The planets move around the sun. Everything in the whole damn universe is cyclical. It comes around. It's springtime right now here in the U.S. It's going to be springtime this time next year right here in the U.S. all over again. Everything goes around. Energy, the one concept you need to understand is science. There's no new age thing happening here. Laws of physics apply to what we do here with tarot. All right. Einstein once said everything is frequency. So if you want something in your life, you just need to get on its frequency and pull it in. He knew what he was talking about. But what did he mean by everything is frequency? Well, the words, first thing you need to understand is the words frequency and energy are interchangeable. Energy is frequency. Frequency is energy. Okay? And frequency is cyclical. It's made of cycles. We rate them as hertz. 60 hertz, your radio stations are on FM are like 100 hertz or a 101.2, that kind of thing. Those are megahertz. Those are millions of hertz. But hertz is a cycle. The energy coming out of your wall socket that runs your appliances is about, here in the US anyway, 60 hertz. That's cycles. 60 cycles per second. 60 hertz. So frequency is cyclical. Frequency is energy. Thus, energy is cyclical. So things come around. What all these soulmate connections that are affecting everybody right now, okay? And new people coming on board or just coming on because they're on different timelines. So they're starting where you were a year ago or so with your soulmate, etc., etc. These same energies are going to come around on a cycle, and somebody in 2024 is going to be going through the same thing you are. That's why any reading is good. Any reading, timeless or otherwise. Energies are cyclical. And that's why I say if the title draws you in, it's meant for you. And it don't matter if it says, if it's May 2021 and that reading says April 2018. It don't matter. It don't matter. Energies are cyclical. The entire universe is cyclical. Energy in and of itself is a cycle, is made up of cycles, aka frequency. All right? It's just simple science right there. No new age stuff, no hocus pocus, no magic. It is what it is. That's the science. So, everything comes around. What goes around comes around. That's the world card. The world represents the universe. The world is about cycles. One cycle ending, another cycle beginning. It's the card of the universe. The whole damn thing is cyclical. And you can spot the patterns in your own life. Learn to spot the patterns in your own life the way you spot patterns in tarot and the way astrologers spot patterns in astrology. Astrology, when someone's writing your horoscope and they say, well, Venus is trining Jupiter, well, they know what to write because they know, as patterns have happened over the centuries, what happens, generally speaking, when Venus trines Jupiter. They spot patterns. It's about patterns in everything. And everything, just like with energy, everything in astrology comes around too. Things come around again. The sun comes around to Gemini again this time next year, or whatever, that kind of thing, right there. Or it's not quite in Gemini yet, but you get my idea. It comes around. Your sign comes around every year. So everything is cyclical. So don't be all narcissistic and think that your soulmate connection is the end-all, be-all, whatever. It's very powerful right now, but it'll be very powerful again for someone else who's on a different timeline from you, so their cycle is different. All right? And within our lives, there are different repeating patterns. Learn to spot the patterns in your life. I'll give you a life hack for that. Check out the patterns of Jupiter. Most people's lives revolve around the cycle of Jupiter. It's the most powerful planet in our universe. It's the biggest, or in our solar system, I should say. Sorry, I'm ad-libbing here. It's the biggest planet in our solar system. It's also a planet that governs luck and expansion in our lives. It's on about an 11.8 year cycle. Call it 12 years, round it up. Okay, go over to Astrology Cafe, or whatever it's called, astrologycafe.com, I think, and look up their Jupiter tables. It's got Jupiter all the way back from the 1930s all the way up to the 2030s. And learn all about it. And look at what was happening in your life the last time Jupiter was in Pisces. Okay, or the last time Jupiter was in Aquarius, which is where it's going back to at the end of July. Okay, and where it's been for most of this year or all of this year. All right, so far. Jupiter is a very important planet. Jupiter is Jupiter's existence is the only reason that we exist here on Earth, as a matter of fact. Jupiter's job in our solar system is to vacuum up all of the debris and all the junk. It vacuums up about 90% of all the stuff that would, if it wasn't there, fall on planet Earth and wipe us out. We'd have mass extinctions. We wouldn't be able to evolve enough to be where we are now with these computers and YouTubes and all that. It's Jupiter that cleans up all that debris and takes it away from us. A lot of it. It's very important. It's the great protector. I have a friend, her name's Puff. She calls me Jupiter because I tend to suck people in. My gravity, big gravity, tends to suck people in, and they come in. I suppose I tend to change people's lives on some level, but that's what Jupiter does. It changes lives. In the cycles of Jupiter, changes in astrology, changes your life when it comes around. When you get your Jupiter return, it's like someone hitting the big reboot button. So that's just a tip. But in general, learn to spot the patterns in your life, and you'll learn how to predict what's coming for you, all by yourself, without tarot, without astrology. All right, that's my superpower. I spot patterns, and aside from energy reading, one of the things that comes along for me is I spot patterns. I got a little touch of OCD, and I spot patterns. All right, and I've spotted the patterns of my own. Now let's pull some tarot here. Let's talk about tarot. All right, a lot of you got some tarot questions. Now, first of all, I don't do all these fancy shuffles, with all the where they do this with the cards and all that kind of stuff and whatever. I just shuffle the cards. When I get a deck of cards, I flesh it out and I shuffle them all up. I put all my cards upright. I'm just going to tell you what I do. I'm not going to talk to nobody else. I'm giving you some tips. You all think I'm a pretty good tarot reader. Well, I've been reading tarot for 30 years, and I learned from some of the best. I learned from real people who know how to pull tarot. I learned from an old gypsy who taught me, because I was an energy reader as a boy, and I didn't know. As a child, I didn't know how to read all these feelings I was getting from people and all these energies I was picking up on. And the tarot helped me translate it. So I learned everything that person had to teach me. Now, I'm going to share some of it with you here. A lot of this isn't in the books. You're not going to find it in your tarot book that comes with your deck of cards. All right. There's a lot of fine tarot readers here on YouTube. I'll tell you that. A lot of fine ones. But there's a couple of mistakes I see a lot, and I'm going to try to clear them up for you here. You can take my advice or not. It's just my advice, my opinion, my point of view. Okay? Take it with a grain of salt. First of all, when you got a question in mind, we're going to cover a few things, but when you got a question in mind, okay, the worst thing you can do is keep repeating that question over and over again. It doesn't matter the words that come out of your mouth. You sometimes hear me, I'll be talking about something else. I'll be talking about my dog. I'll be shuffling the deck, pulling a reading for Virgo or for Taurus or whatever, and I'll be talking about my dog who forgets I live here and all that kind of stuff. That's because I've already put the message out to the universe that I want. Okay? I've already put it out there. I put it out there in my mind. It's just like manifesting. You create your manifestation, tell the universe what you want, you let it go. You don't inject any fears into it. You don't inject anything into it. Complete neutrality is the answer. Not positive, not negative, neutral. You put it out there, you let it go. You let the universe do its job. You don't have to, if you're going to audibly ask your question, you don't have to keep repeating it. What's going on for Virgo right now? What's going on for Virgo right now? What's going on for Virgo right now? You do that, you're going to piss off the universe, just like you'd piss off your waiter or waitress if you kept saying, I want the spaghetti, I want the spaghetti, I want the spaghetti. I got it, you damn fool. I just wrote it down. You only had to say it once. Well, think of the universe as your waiter or waitress, and you don't want spit on your food. All right? You put it out there with your mind. You want to be a showman here on YouTube, you can. You can talk all you want. That's fine. But what's happening with the universe in that respect is it's listening to the first thing you say. Don't keep repeating it. It's not good. It doesn't end well. Now, I often say, if I'm talking while I'm shuffling, I'll often say, yeah, the universe either backs me up or it puts egg in my face. It's listening. I'm not wishing for anything there. I'm not asking for anything. I'm just talking and I'm shuffling the deck. If I'm trying to clarify a card when we're in the reading and I'm clarifying, okay, I just say, tell me, let's say the magician is here. Or let's say we got the page of cups here, okay? Page of cups. I just think in my mind, tell me, or I'll say it out loud and think it. Tell me about this page of cups. That's it. And whatever I said before that, whatever I was talking about before that or talking about after it, is just me reading the energies around. I'm not continuing to ask, tell me about the page of cups. I ask it once. I say, tell me about this page of cups. And I'll sit back and I'll shuffle. And I'll mumble to myself and all that kind of stuff. And then I'll pull the cards and the story. Bottom line, I'll pull the cards. But again, it's just like manifesting. If you want accurate answers to your questions, it's just like manifesting. You need to be neutral. You need to put it out there and let it go. There's no need to go all kinds of hocus pocus with it. Stop. Oh Lord, give me the reading. May the reading be the good reading. Oh good Lord. I hear all people do all kinds of spiels while they're shuffling, and it's a fatal error. It's not. It's all just showman. It's not wrong. I'm hoping that in their head they're manifesting properly, trying to get the right answer. Now, on the flip side of that coin, I often say to you guys, sometimes when I'm shuffling the deck, I say, just ask the damn question. And that's part of what I mean. All that, you're just, it's as confusing to the universe as it is to you. Just ask the damn question. I do it every morning. I sit down, I grab my deck of cards. Every morning, I throw one card. I say, what kind of day am I going to have today? That's it. That's all I say. I just put that out there right now. What kind of day am I going to? I shuffle the deck. I get my shuffle. I pull my card. Two of Pentacles. I got some choices to make today. I am kind of wishy-washy today. This is actually pretty accurate. This is my day right here in a damn card. Two of Pentacles. I know what kind of day I'm going to have. I do it for myself every morning. Usually while I'm eating my Cheerios. Just ask the damn question. Ask it in your head or ask it out loud. But ask it once. Don't keep asking it over and over again. It's like pissing off a waiter. I catch myself doing it from time to time. I'm not perfect. I catch myself from time to time. Usually what I'll do is I'll ask the question and I'll mumble to myself while I'm shuffling. That's different That's just me being funny, being a showman here for the video, trying to make you all laugh. I'll say something stupid. But again, it's just like manifesting. You're manifesting an answer. You're putting something out into that energy that's out there in the universe, and you're trying to manifest an answer. All right? Now, let's say we get a card pull. Let's just pull some cards. All right? I haven't shuffled. I haven't shuffled since my question I asked. Let's pull some cards. Okay, let's start with a 3-card reading. All right, let's say even you're somebody who clarifies with 3 cards. All right? You got a card here. You got the 9 of Pentacles clarified by the 2 of Pentacles, the 3 of Pentacles, and the 5 of Pentacles. All right? Now, when you read these cards are clarifying this card. All right? They're the reason this card is here. That's what clarifying means. Let me pull this on video for you. All right, there you go. That's the reason they're here. So you ask one simple question, why is this 9 of Pentacles here? And you shut up and you wait for your answer while you're shuffling. And we'll talk about shuffling in a minute. But I do want to say with 3 cards, I see a lot of people on YouTube pulling 3 cards and they're reading them this way. 1, 2 of Pentacles, 3 of Pentacles, 5 of Pentacles. And I say this, I try to teach this during my videos all the time. No. It's an anchor card. This is your first card. 3 of Pentacles. These 2 are read then in this order. So this is read 3 of Pentacles, 2 of Pentacles, 5 of Pentacles. It gives you a completely, in many cases, it'll give you a completely different story than if you were to read them this way. And that's if you're reading cards. If you're reading energy, you can just read the energy that's coming off the thing. And whatever. But this is the anchor card. This is important. In this situation here, we got the 9 of Pentacles. We got someone who's stable, single, well-to-do. They're doing okay on their own. And right here, we got someone that wants to build a foundation with this person. All right? But they're undecided as to how to do it. Maybe they're fearful. They're leaving themselves out in the cold with the 5 of Pentacles. All right, they feel out in the cold because this person's probably doing so well. But we read this card first because this is all of the why. If we read it the other way, we've got an indecisive person who wants to build a foundation. It doesn't work right. It doesn't have the same flow. This is the most important card of the 3 is what I'm telling you, the center card. These others are like crossing cards on it. They're the reason it's there, that kind of thing. So that's just something to keep in mind for that sort of aspect of it. Now, shuffling the cards. You can shuffle however you want. Every reader has a different shuffle. Okay? Me, I'm a sloppy shuffler. I'm not one of those. I look like I work in Vegas dealing cards at, with Robert Redford and Paul Newman at the table. I just shuffle, whatever. Kind of sloppy. I know when to stop via my intuition. Now, here's what I want to talk to you all about. Intuition is important. You're pulling from 5D energy for these cards. Your soul tells you when to stop, not your brain. Your intuition tells you when to stop, not your brain. Your intuition is not in your brain. Your brain is full of, oh God, should I stop? I don't know. Maybe. I don't know. I don't know. Your brain is a second-guessing machine. Your intuition just knows the damn answer. Snap the finger. All right? That first thing, that your intuition is that little voice. I often describe the intuition as a fleeting thought. The best way for most of you to understand how intuition works is a fleeting thought. Fleeting thought is something you all have, whether you have psychic abilities or not, and you all do. It's just children, little children, tiny children, 2, 3 years old, even babies, are 10 times more psychic than any of us watching this right now. Even the most powerful psychic watching me right now ain't nothing compared to a 2-year-old child. That's because they ain't been told yet that it's wrong. They ain't gone to school and be told practicality and that's not right. That's all hocus pocus. It gets pounded in their heads. Practicality gets pounded in their heads when they go to school and whatever. Those who are more powerful with it and no, something's not right, I'm different from the other kids, those are the ones that don't listen to that, and they're the ones that develop abilities as they go through life. Your intuition, everyone has it, even if you've been told it's wrong as a child and it's all pushed down. Intuition is a fleeting thought. Everyone's had the fleeting thought of someone you were just thinking about and they called 10 minutes later. And you were like, As soon as you pick up the phone and you're like, oh my God, I was just thinking about you, right? That's fleeting thought. That's intuition. That's your psychic ability. It's a thought. Here's the rule of thumb. It's a feeling that translates into a thought that you forget you thought. That's a way that most people who don't have psychic abilities or don't feel they do can read their intuition. It's a thought, it's a feeling that translates into a thought, and then you forget you had that thought until you're reminded moments later that you had it. Usually when that person calls, you forget. You're not sitting there for 10 minutes just thinking about them. You forget that you thought about them. You don't remember you thought about them until they say, hey, it's me. And you're like, oh my God, I was just thinking about you. It's like that. So what you need to do if you want to develop any kind of ability and be able to really pull cards off of intuition and know when to stop shuffling is you need to catch yourself stopping thinking about it. And that's where the trick is. That's where you think about the person, we'll say the name is Bob. You feel it. You feel it in your bones, and it translates into a little thought, a little voice in your head. Bob. It's going, Bob pops in your head real quick. And then Bob, just as Bob dissipates, you catch it. And that's when you stop shuffling. When your little voice says, stop shuffling, and you catch it. Just a little voice. Because your brain's job is to protect you. Your brain's job is to deny the soul. The soul is in the 5D. The brain's in the 3D. It's a much more powerful energy. It's a stronger thing. It's like standing right next to the radio station output tower. Whereas the soul is 50 miles away, and it's a wimpy little tower. It's nothing. So when you stop shuffling, so if I'm shuffling the deck, like I am right now, I'm shuffling the deck, I get the word stop. And usually what happens is the deck becomes difficult to shuffle for me. Like the cards lock up a little bit. Now, I know. But as soon as I hear that word stop, you need to have a word. I guess is what I'm driving at. You need to have a word that makes you stop. My word is stop. Your word could be anything. Could be booger. I don't know. Whatever you want. Whatever your word is that you hear, that's when it is. And you'll actually train the universe to work with you. We train the energies around us. Just like they say in psychology, we teach people how to treat us. Right? They say that in psychology all the time. We teach people how to treat us. If we hate ourselves, then people hate us. That kind of thing. You teach the universe how to treat you. As a card reader, just looking at it from a tarot perspective, card readers, the universe knows what their positions are. They know how they pull cards. They know how they read cards. The universe knows how I read a magician card, how I read a tower card, or whatever. So it's going to pull that out when I need to read it a certain way. It's going to pull that card. We teach the universe. The energy learns from us. There's a theory. It's really kind of funny. There's a theory. Well, first of all, the Japanese scientists say they proved anyway. It's pretty good evidence that the universe is just a hologram. Hologram theory. Now, there's a lot of people, that ties to a lot of people who think that we're all just, that the whole universe is just a computer simulation. Right? And if you think about it, it makes a lot of sense. A computer, there's a couple of experiments you can do to try to find out, like if you turn away from a wall, is the wall still there? Kind of a thing. Or is it only there when you turn to it and can see it, or when you put a mirror up and you can see it? It's sort of like the way your computer programs save RAM by getting rid of things it doesn't need in the background until you need them. That kind of thing. But moreover, on energy, it's sort of proof of it in the sense of, not unlike computer programs learn, the energy of the universe does learn about you and how you do things. You teach that energy. You program on some level that energy how to treat you, how to behave around you. So you need to do that as a tarot reader. You need to do that. You need to do things consistently. Don't change things up. Do things consistently every time. If your stop word is booger, then your stop word is booger. And as soon as that word pops in your head, as soon as it does, don't second guess it. Don't do anything. You just stop shuffling. That's very important because a lot of people don't know and they keep going and going and going. It's very difficult. It's the hardest part of tarot, and it's where inaccurate readings come from. The other thing I do, I read energy as far as accuracy goes and stuff like that. I read energy. I don't read cards. Cards back up what I'm saying. And I mentioned this on a recent reading. A lot of people noticed, and they write in and ask me a question about why I talk about what's going to come out before I pull a card. Most readers don't do that. Even energy readers, some really good ones here, will pull the cards first, and then they'll tell you what the energy is. I do. You watch my readings, you know darn well the most common phrase that comes out of my mouth. I'll be yapping and yammering and blah, 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 blah. And then I'll pull a card, and then I'll go, see, I told you. What was I just saying? That's the most common phrase uttered out of Steve's mouth on any reading. See, I told you. What did I say? Right there. I was just talking about the fact that they didn't bring you the cup of love. And there it is. An ungiven cup of love. The Ace of Cups. Right there. So I do it that way because it kind of hammers home for you, the viewer, that I know what I'm doing. That what we're doing here is real. Okay? There's nothing made up. I do it enough times that people realize, shit, every time this guy says something, a card comes out to back him up. That's the kind of thing. It doesn't matter whether you read energy or not, you can read intuition. Cards are read intuitively. So once you train your intuition, you start trusting those fleeting thoughts. You start trusting that Bob is going to call and not let your brain second guess. You'll be able to do that too. You'll be able to know what's going to come out and talk to your people who are watching your reading about it before it even comes out. It'll just hammer the reading home. Because what we're doing here with tarot is real. I've been doing this for 30 years. I've been pulling cards. I was blown away. The person who taught me how to read cards, it wasn't like some Back to the Future thing where he was like Doc and I was this kid who would go to his house and all this kind of stuff. It wasn't that. This person, I was just walking by and he was pulling cards and he pulled some cards on me. This person in 3 cards knew that I could read energy, that I was special, that I was something different, but I didn't know how to do it. I was blown away. I'm like, how did you know that? He knew it before the damn cards came out. And he said, well, these cards might be able to help you understand that energy in what you're reading. And sure enough, it did. It helped me translate the stuff I was reading. So I started carrying a deck of cards with me everywhere I went. And I've been pulling cards all over the place. And now I'm pulling cards for you, basically. And whatever. I don't need them anymore, but you do. So I'm here to help. But the same applies to intuition. You don't have to be an energy reader. The cards can help you translate what your intuition is telling you, just like I learned how to translate what the energies were telling me, what I was feeling. So the cards can help intuitive readers too, help you train your intuition. And once you do that, you then in turn train the energy of the universe and you become a very powerful card reader. You can become very good. You can carry a deck of cards around with you and you can act like an energy reader. You can just, well, this person loves you. This person's a prick. This person's just going to blow you off. You can literally just do it. Just pull the cards, whatever. And eventually you'll just be able to know how to read your intuition. You'll just trust it. And the way to tell the difference is the intuition, because it's a weaker signal. It comes from the 5D, goes away very quickly. It dissipates, hence fleeting thought. It dissipates very quickly. It's a feeling that turns into a thought, not a thought that turns into a feeling. Don't get that mixed up. Thoughts that turn into feelings are what your brain does, what your ego energy does. Your ego energy creates fear, it creates doubt. It's there to protect you. It's there for a reason. If we were just all soul and no ego, that's tricky, because the soul only knows truth. We'd be walking. We wouldn't have the ability to interact as people like that. Ideally, we want a balance between ego and soul. Okay, most people in this world today are mostly ego. We see it. We call them the selfie generation, right? They're mostly ego. Everything is me, 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 me. Very ego-based. And they're basing their things on stupid shit. They're basing their things, they think they have power because they have a good paying job. they got a bunch of money, or they're an executive, or they're famous. Well, that's not power. Real power is developing your soul and intuition, finding out who you really are. That's where real power comes from. Because I tell you what, those ego-based people, you take away that job, you take away that money, you take away that fame, their show gets canceled. Well, guess what goes with it? All that power they thought they had. But if you're comfortable within yourself, and you're grounded in your soul, and that's where your power comes from, nobody can ever take that away from you. The soul is eternal. And it's protected. It's in the 5D. Nobody can reach out and grab it. Hell, science can't even detect it. Yet it knows it's there. That's what's very interesting. A lot of scientists won't write about it because because they're afraid of ridicule. They know there's something there, and that's probably a topic for another time. But anyway, the bottom line is it is there, and the dark energy is there, and they've discovered that. And your intuition is there. Your intuition is not a thought that translates into a feeling. Your intuition is a feeling that translates into a quick thought. Just like I tell you when I meet someone at a party. 5 seconds. I know in 5 seconds, either the word asshole or the word cool comes through my head. Either or. If asshole pops in my head, I don't give them the time of day. I'm like, yeah, nice to meet you. Well, good luck for your future. Bye-bye. I'm always right. I know, because I know how to listen to it. And that's the same way with stop and shuffling. It's the same way with tarot. I'm going to shuffle the deck right now. If you want to do an intuitive read, if you're an intuitive reader, because most people don't read energy. Most people aren't real energy readers. They're not. They think they do, but they don't. There's not a lot of true energy readers in the world. Most of them work as profilers for the FBI and stuff like that. That's a common job for someone like me. I decided not to go that route. But a friend of mine does that, a business partner of mine, he does that. He's a former FBI profiler. Okay? Energy readers are also hostage negotiators. We're really good at that because we can read the energy of the person and figure out what to say to get them off. And they hide all that. And they're not just the average person who does that. They're the ones that stick out, the ones that movies of the week are made of. Like, how do they do that? How do they know that? Those are energy readers, and those are the careers that they tend to go into, or high-level executives, or investment brokers and things like that, people that can intuitively tell when a company is good or when it's bad, that kind of thing. Those are true energy readers. But most people will read intuitively. If you're going to read intuitively, again, it's a feel. Any card that pulls, you should be able to read in 1 second. Or less, if you're an intuitive reader. Okay, I'm going to pull a quick 4-card reading right here, and I'm going to read each card like this. I'm just going to do it intuitively. And for someone out there, I shuffled the deck, and the question I put out to the universe is, give me something for someone out there. For someone out there, or maybe a few someones, this is a quick little reading for you. And I'm just going to do it intuitively. No energy. I'm just going to use my intuition, just straight up. 4 cards. All right? Here we go. And it's about, I'll prep it by saying it probably has to do with, because it's Steve's Love Tarot, I'm sure it has to do with some kind of soulmate, because I've trained the universe to only send me information about that. Again, like I told you, you teach the universe how to treat you. All right? Here we go. Communication's coming your way. They want to bring balance to the situation. Their life is in complete turmoil, and they're in a lot of pain, and they have a lot of regret about your situation. That's the quick intuitive read on those 4 cards, straight up. All right? I mean, that's how fast you do it when you're intuitive. Now, slowing that down a little bit, because that's not a very good tarot reading for YouTube, to just say that and then like end your video, okay, thanks. If you like this reading, please like, share, and subscribe. I mean, because that's bull. You then need to draw conclusions yourself and try to apply it to the thing, you know. You can look at the 4 cards here and use your intuition to tell you more, to expand more for the person. It's likely, okay, it's likely this person, like you use deduction, deductive reasoning. It's likely this person, because of this 6 of Pentacles, wasn't very forthcoming with give and take. And since they have a lot of regret, this has probably been going on a spell. And this Tower here tells me that this connection is probably something they've never seen before or experienced before. And this Eight of Wands, because it's got this lightning on it, look at the cards. Because it's got this lightning on it, Eight of Wands comes out of nowhere. Eight of Wands is sudden communication. Well, this probably means that you're not expecting to hear from this person. Probably a person who's been quiet for a spell. So that's how you pull a read. That's a quick 4-card read, just a quick boom, intuitive, each card, bang, 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 less than a second on the meaning of each card. And then you look at the cards as a whole, and you form a story. You use deductive reasoning. You become Sherlock Holmes, and you deduce what's probably going on here. And that's going to apply to probably 100 people watching this video right now, maybe more. Because I pull in soulmate energy, and this is Steve's Love Tarot. Hell, this reading here, these 4 cards apply to about 9 signs right now of what's going on with your person. You know, that kind of thing. So, again, learn to trust your intuition. Learn to trust it with tarot. Learn to trust it in your life. But remember, your brain's job, if you're thinking too much, you're way past intuition. As fast as I said what those cards meant, that's how long intuition lasts. It's gone. Barely a second. That fleeting thought. Hence the word fleeting. It's gone. So, learn to trust your intuition in life. Learn to trust it with this. It's the first thought that pops into your head, but that thought has a feeling attached to it already. It begins as a feeling, and it moves to a thought, but then it's gone. That's intuition. If you're second guessing and oh, but what if, and intuition ain't got time for what ifs. Your soul only knows truth. It only knows love and truth. It's where all the feelings come from. Yeah, your brain, your ego releases chemicals when you love someone, but that's not, your brain doesn't love anyone. Your soul loves them. That's a soulmate especially. That's why soulmates run. Because the brain wants to protect. The brain wants to shut down that weak signal coming from the 5D. So they run. You don't. Some of you don't. You're awakened to it. You're like, I want to feel this. Well, there you go. Trust your intuition. You'll know in 1 second. But again, your brain wants to trick you. It wants to inject fears. It wants to protect you. It wants to do all that. Ignore all of that. Use some common sense. But go with the feeling that turns into a quick thought. Whatever it is. All right. I'm going to do one more. I'm going to do one more quick intuitive, 1 card. This is for somebody out there or a lot of somebodies. All right, we're going to have a little fun. It's enough lecture. We're going to do 1 card. Love you or love you not. Right? You know that old game where the little girl like pick off the flowers? He loves me not. He loves me not. Well, we're going to do that right here. 1 card. So think about your person. Think about your person. Now, stop thinking about your person. We're going to practice your intuition here. Stop thinking about your person. Are you thinking about your person? All right. Stop. Now, feel your person. Put your person in your mind. Picture your person in your mind. Feel that. What's the word? What's the word that comes to mind? Not or loves? Which is it? Pick a word that works for you for either or. And stick with it. Let it go. Let it fleet away. All right? You ready? Loves. Loves is the answer. It's a star card. Here, this person's everything in their mind, whether they've showed it to you or not. Now, whether you got that right or not or whatever, you know, some of you want to be smart asses out there. I know I get watched by a few smart asses, and you're going to go, I thought not. Well, did you really think not? Was it really your intuition? Because if you thought not, that's not your intuition. Your intuition isn't thought. If you're thinking for more than a second, it ain't intuition. Frankly, more than half a second.